While the world was distracted by ceasefire negotiations, something far more dangerous was unfolding behind closed doors. The US military wasn't pulling back. It was surging more aircraft, more warships, and more firepower into the Middle East than when this war first exploded. And according to reports coming out of Washington, a brand new operation was already being prepared. Not Epic Fury. Something bigger. Something far more aggressive. Operation Sledgehammer. And if this operation begins, analysts believe it could unleash a level of destruction we haven't seen yet. Bigger targets, broader strikes, more military options on the table than ever before. Some insiders are already calling it Epic Fury 2.0. But here's the terrifying part. Iran wasn't waiting to see what Washington would decide. It was already preparing for the exact scenario the Pentagon has reportedly been discussing in private. Military drills, drone attack simulations, air defense rehearsals, training specifically focused on stopping an American airborne assault before US troops could even touch the ground. Two sides, one collision course, and a ceasefire sitting in the middle of it that looks like it could collapse at any moment. Stay until the end, because this story is escalating fast, and what happens next could reshape the entire Middle East. So how did we get here? According to reports surrounding Trump's recent China visit, the entire diplomatic strategy was built around one expectation: pressure Iran through Beijing. The White House reportedly hoped President Xi Jinping would use China's economic influence over Tehran to force Iran into backing away from its nuclear activities and ease tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. But by the end of the meetings, there was no breakthrough, no major commitment, no clear agreement. And from Washington's perspective, Trump returned without the leverage his administration was expecting. That matters, because when diplomacy fails at the highest level, military pressure usually moves to the front of the table. And that's exactly why Operation Sledgehammer is suddenly becoming one of the biggest conversations inside Washington. But before we talk about the operation itself, you need to understand how unstable this current ceasefire actually is. Because this isn't peace. Not even close. Right now, both sides are still squeezing each other economically and militarily inside one of the most important waterways on Earth. Iran has continued restricting shipping movement around parts of the Persian Gulf, while U.S. naval forces have maintained pressure on Iranian port access since April. That means both countries are effectively running pressure campaigns against each other at the exact same time. This isn't de-escalation. It's a standoff with missiles, warships, and global oil markets sitting right in the middle of it. And things have already come dangerously close to exploding again. Reports indicate that US and Iranian forces exchanged fire near the Strait of Hormuz in recent days. American strikes reportedly targeted missile infrastructure, drone launch areas, and military positions connected to Iran's coastal defense network. Tehran called it a ceasefire violation. Washington argued the ceasefire technically still remains active. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know about how fragile this situation really is. Neither side has fully restarted the war, but neither side has actually stopped preparing for it either. Now here's where the story takes a serious turn. According to multiple reports from major US outlets, advisors inside the Trump administration have already drafted updated strike plans against Iran. And sources claim the timeline being discussed could move very quickly. The campaign reportedly being considered would operate under a new name, Operation Sledgehammer. That name matters more than people realize, because under US war powers rules, launching a new operation under a separate designation can effectively reset the legal clock for continued military action without immediately returning to Congress for authorization. So this isn't just military planning. It's political strategy, legal strategy, and military escalation all happening at the same time. And according to officials familiar with the discussions, the US military position in the region is now stronger than when Epic Fury first began. More bombers, more naval assets, more strike aircraft, more attack capability already positioned across the region. Operation Sledgehammer wouldn't be launching from weakness. It would be launching from overwhelming force already sitting in place. So what exactly is being discussed behind closed doors? Reports suggest two major paths are being considered. The first is a dramatically expanded bombing campaign targeting not just nuclear and missile infrastructure, but also economic targets tied to Iran's operational capability. Oil facilities, power infrastructure, transportation routes, strategic industrial sites. The goal would be to cripple Iran's ability to sustain prolonged conflict. But the second option is where this situation enters completely new territory. Possible special forces operations inside Iran itself. According to reports, U.S. officials remain concerned that previous bunker buster strikes may not have fully eliminated some enriched uranium stockpiles located at underground nuclear facilities like Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. Some material may still remain buried beneath collapsed underground structures. And discussions are reportedly taking place about whether special operations teams could physically enter those areas to secure or neutralize remaining material directly. Think about what that means. The moment foreign troops enter Iranian territory on the ground, this stops being just an air campaign. At that point, escalation becomes almost impossible to control. Regional militias could activate overnight. Oil shipping routes could face massive disruption. And suddenly the timeline for ending the conflict becomes completely unpredictable. But here's what makes this even more dangerous. Iran appears to already be preparing for that exact scenario. Recent military drills inside Iran reportedly focused on countering American airborne assault operations involving helicopters and transport aircraft. The exercises simulated helicopter landings, troop insertions, and low-altitude assault scenarios involving foreign special forces. Footage circulating online showed Iranian units using FPV drones to simulate attacks against helicopter targets resembling U.S. Black Hawks. Mobile anti-aircraft platforms mounted on pickup trucks were also deployed during the drills, designed to rapidly reposition and target low-flying aircraft during landing operations. And according to military analysts, the landing phase is exactly when helicopters are most vulnerable. That's the moment aircraft slow down. That's when troops begin unloading. And that's when shoulder-fired missile systems become most effective, which is why experts believe portable air defense systems could become one of Iran's biggest threats if any airborne assault operation actually takes place. And this is the reality nobody wants to admit publicly. Both sides are now actively preparing for the next round. The United States is increasing military capability across the region while drafting broader strike plans. Iran is rehearsing countermeasures for the exact kind of operation American planners are reportedly considering behind closed doors. Meanwhile, the ceasefire itself continues weakening by the day. So no, this doesn't look like peace. It looks like a pause before something much bigger. The Strait of Hormuz remains unstable. Military assets continue moving into position. Fire has already been exchanged. And every new development suggests the window between ceasefire and full escalation is getting smaller and smaller. The real question now isn't whether tensions rise again. It's whether anyone actually has a plan for what happens after the first direct ground confrontation begins. Because once that line gets crossed, controlling what comes next may become impossible. But what do you think? Does this ceasefire survive, or are we already watching the opening phase of a much larger war? Comment below. And if you want fast, detailed breakdowns on the biggest geopolitical stories shaping the world right now, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications because this situation is moving fast, and the next few weeks could change everything.